Hi there, welcome to this course on how to make the best quality tiger nut milk at home. My name is Ifeyinwa and I'm really excited to share this delicious and nutritious recipe with you. So before we go ahead, let us go through an overview of what tiger nut milk is. I know you already know what it is, but you could know more. Tiger nut milk is also known as kuno aya. It is a plant-based milk that is full of protein and high in fiber. It is also a drink that is served cold. I'll shed more light on why it is often served cold as we move on. It is gluten and lactose free. It is 100% plant-based milk and is suited for all special dietary needs. Tiger nut milk is rich in fiber, rich in magnesium, potassium, and is also allergen free and very keto friendly. Now let's move into the benefits of tiger nut milk. Knowing the benefits of tiger nut milk is important for you so that when you consume it, you're actually sure of what your body is consuming and the benefit it adds to it. And if you want to convert the idea to a commercial means, you can also tell your audience about these benefits to get them to really understand why they need to purchase your tiger nut milk, and even also pitch it to your friends and your family. Now, on to the benefits. Tiger nut milk contains enzymes such as lipases, amylases, and catalases. That term will be very familiar to science students. These enzymes aid in digestion and relieves you from gastrointestinal symptoms such as bloating and diarrhea. Secondly, the fiber content in tiger nut milk helps to regulate blood sugar levels because fiber slows down sugar absorption in your gut. Third point, tiger nut milk contains fatty acids that actually help to improve your heart health and your blood vessel and lower the risk of hypertension and heart diseases. And also, tiger nut milk strengthens immunity. In one study, tiger nut milk was found to be very effective against bacteria such as Salmonella, Staphylococcus, and E. coli. Another benefit is that tiger nut milk improves sex drive. It has been known to improve libido and sexual dysfunction. In men, it actually increases their testosterone levels and improves blood flow to their genitals. Another benefit is that it is a great substitute for cow milk. So if you are lactose intolerant, it is great for you. Another benefit I would like you to note is that tiger nut milk is great for ulcer patients and helps to control and also relieve the symptoms of ulcer. So before I begin on how to make the best quality tiger nut milk at home, I would like you to take notes that in producing tiger nut milk, there shouldn't be any form of warmth or warm temperatures. And that is why during the process of making tiger nut milk, you have to make sure that ice block and cold water is present, most especially ice block. If you want to get a good tiger nut milk that can last in the freezer for up to 3 to 4 weeks, yes, you heard me, 3 to 4 weeks, you just have to make sure that ice block is present. You understand this as we go on. So once warmth is detected, it allows fermentation and fermentation begins. And when fermentation happens, it loses its taste and it thickens like watery pap. Another thing to note is do not soak your tiger nut more than a night, which is like approximately 6 to 8 hours, and always soak it in cold water. Here is why. Now, when you soak tiger nuts, water is usually absorbed into the nuts and formed as milk. Now, when that water stays there for too long, it starts to ferment from the inside. So you might now feel that okay, that tiger nut milk is still very much okay, and then you grind it and it might even still taste okay, but when you store it, it won't last more than 2 days. It won't last more than 2 days in the freezer or though. Why? Because the fermentation process has already started while it was being soaked for too long. So the key to a perfect tasty tiger nut milk is to not let any form of fermentation process begin on it until extraction of the milk is completed and stored. Before we continue to the 3 things you have to know to make sure that fermentation doesn't happen, I would like to state that please do not buy the soaked tiger nut milk. Buy the dry one and soak it yourself, okay? Buy the dry one and soak it yourself. This is what the soaked one look like, and this is what the dry one looks like, and you should buy this, the dry one. Okay, buy the dry one and soak it yourself, not more than 6 to 8 hours top. That is why I said overnight. Overnight, not up to, not more than 6 to 8 hours. Yeah, on to the three things you need to know to have a wonderful, tasty, nutritious tiger nut milk that can last you in your freezer for up to 3 to 4 weeks. 1, wash your tiger nuts properly with clean water. 2, soak with cold water. We'll talk about this as we go on. Thirdly, make sure ice block is present throughout the extraction process. So when I say cold water, I really don't mean water that is freezing cold. But whatever water you're using to soak your tiger nut milk, make sure it is not warm in any form. Make sure it is, at least if you fetch it from the tap, clean water you fetch from the tap, and it's on, maybe that day it was sunny, and you know how it could be, so it can be sunny, and the water from the tap starts, it's a bit warm, don't use it. Or you can add cold water from the fridge to that water, just so that it will be at that cold temperature, if you understand what I mean, so that by the time the tiger nut starts absorbing it into absorbing the water into the milk, between that 6 to 8 hours, if it absorbs warm water inside it will start, the formation of the water to the milk will be warmer. But when it absorbs the water cold, forming the water to the milk, it won't get warm, which won't allow for any fermentation process. So I hope you understand that. Now let's talk about washing your tiger nuts properly, as a point of how to make tiger nut that will last longer and is healthier. So when you wash your tiger nut properly before you start the soaking and extra, or even after soaking, when you wash it properly, it has less dirt. Normally in animal milk they pasteurize it before it is taken into the human body. It is pasteurized, and pasteurization is a process of heat. So but for tiger nut milk, it can't pass through that process because it is a kind of milk that hates warmth, anything warmth at all, talk less of passing through heat. So in that process, you have to make sure that you wash it well. When you wash it well and you use clean water, and everything you are using to process it down to bottling it is clean, then the bacterial level in that the bacterial level in the milk will be low for any fermentation process to take place. I hope you understand that. Now in this video, I'll be showing you, there will be a video that will be tagged next to this one. In that video, you'll see me making the tiger nut, and in that video I'll be showing you how to make tiger nut milk with banana. Tiger nut milk can actually be paired with any fruit of your choice to bring out a flavor you want, even down to cocoa powder, cocoa chocolate, cocoa that is used to make chocolate and choco drinks. Yes, you can be paired with that to give it that tiger nut milk choco flavor. You can also be paired with strawberry, beetroot, pineapples. I've tried pineapples, and also avocados, pineapples. You guys should try that, it's perfect. But in this video I'll be showing you how to make it with banana. But you can when you've learned with this, you can then substitute the banana for like any fruits of your choice. So what are the things you need to make this tiger nut milk? You need your tiger nut, your dried tiger nut, which will be soaked for 6 to 8 hours. You need date, you need ginger, you need clean cool water, you need banana, you need coconuts, you need ice block, you need medium-sized bowls and buckets, clean ones. So you need strainer, you need cheesecloth, you need bottles where you can store them, and then also a good functioning freezer. You also need a high performance blender and also a stirring spoon to stir it up before you bottle. When after making the tiger nut milk, the starchy part of the milk, which contains the fiber, tends to settle to the bottom. So what you should do before bottling it, you stir it all together. That is why on the things you need, I put a stirring spoon. Then you make sure you stir it from the bottom altogether before pouring it into your storage bottles. Now, when I started making tiger nuts, I wasn't good at it. I'll tell you that for free. I learned it online, just like you are learning from me. But the person I learned it from didn't break things down the way I'm breaking it down for you. So with time, I got to know my mistakes, do my research here, do my research there, attend more classes, and also from experience, because I sold tiger nut milk for up to almost 3 years. And out of my experience, the first year I wasn't even sure what I was doing. In fact, sometimes customer complain. Sometimes I'll put my tiger nut in the freezer and I can't sleep at night. Like when I store it, I can't sleep at night because I'll be like, let this thing not spoil before I deliver to the customer tomorrow and all that. So with time, I understood what to do and how to go about things and the right recipe, which I'll be giving you right now. The right measurements for my recipe. Now, the measurements for my recipe, using 1 pint of tiger nut to measure, 1 pint of tiger nut, half derica of dates, a bunch of banana, and 3 medium-sized coconuts. I know in the market we have two types of tiger nut. There's like the bigger seed, there's the smaller seed. So I am very familiar with the bigger seed. So some people are familiar with the smaller seed, but I prefer the bigger seed. Anyone that works for you, but I would say use the bigger seed because I heard they both have different tastes. I heard the bigger one, although I've tasted the smaller one before and I think it's true, but I've not used it. I've not really used it. I've mixed it before, but I've not really used it. I'm used to using the big seeded tiger nut. So the big seeded tiger nut, 1 pint of big seeded tiger nut, 3 medium-sized coconuts, dates, half derica of date is fine, because I know you might say it's small, but if you want it sweeter, fine. It's just that tiger nut has its own natural sweetness. The date is just to like boost that sweetness. It doesn't need to be so sweet, but if you think you want it sweeter after trying my recipe, then yes, next time you can add more dates to it. So soak the tiger nut overnight, see for 6 hours. You're going and wash it. After it is soaked, wash it. You're going to see it in the video I'll be showing next. So wash it, soak the dates so that it will be a bit supple for you to like open up and remove. You're going to see the way I do it in the next video I'll be showing. And for the coconut, you break it, you cut it into smaller pieces, because your blender, once you cut it into bigger pieces, it can spoil your blender. So please ensure you cut it into smaller pieces so it doesn't damage your blender. Now we'll be moving straight to the next video, which is a preparation video I once made when I was still producing tiger nut milk, and you get to see how I got to prepare the tiger nut milk myself. Now in this video I didn't add ginger because I was making it bad for some customers who wanted it without ginger. Most of my customers actually liked it without ginger, but if you want ginger you can add, but for the measurements I give, about 3 pieces of ginger is fine for a moderate level. So here's the video. So first you get your big seeded tiger nut, the big seeded tiger nut. Now you get your date. This is the amount of dates you'll be using, and your coconut, 3 size coconuts, your banana. Now we start to seed our dates. You remove, this is how I remove my seed from my dates. If you watch closely, I cut through by the middle and then use the mouth of the knife to remove the seed. Some people use scissors though, but me, I'm used to knife, so anything that works for you. So these are my seeded dates, and these are the seeds which I'll be throwing away. So you wash your dates, properly, then sieve, and then next you wash your tiger nuts. You wash your tiger nut properly. You use your hand to like, as if you are scrubbing beans that you want to peel off the back. That's the way you just wash it properly. And you see the water has changed color. You sieve that out and you repeat. You do it again. You wash properly until
the water is neat. So this is my second time of washing. Look at the color of the water. So this is my last time. Color of the water is clear now. So you wash your coconut, then you get your banana ready. So you pour in all your ingredients and you add your ice block. So you go to the market, you grind, and this is the kind of consistency you'll be having. That consistency is like the perfect one. You see how it's grinded properly. So you wash your hands. Before I started recording, I cleaned up everywhere. I washed my hands properly in the video, and you pour this water is what you are. I'll show you what you're going to use it for later. So you just put a small water in a bowl and you set it aside. Then you take a bucket that you'll be using to sieve out your tiger nut. When you put block inside, you see the block I put inside, then you put your basket and your cheesecloth over the basket. So this is how you do it. You take a bowl, scoop out the one you grinded at the market. Carefully you see the way I carefully put it in the sieve, and then I held it and started squeezing. Squeeze properly, squeeze out all the milk properly. After squeezing, you take the bowl of water that I fetched earlier and you wash out the remaining milk that will be in that chaff. You wash it out and then you pour out the chaff. You should have a bucket set aside for pouring the chaff, and then I'm repeating the process again. You squeeze out the milk, squeeze out the milk, squeeze out the milk properly, squeeze it properly. No milk must remain in that chaff unless you want to lose money. You squeeze it out properly, then you take that water again and you drain out all the remaining milk that is in that chaff. You understand? You drain it out properly, wash it out properly, and you squeeze again. So you keep doing this for everything. You keep doing it. You keep squeezing properly. Please make sure you squeeze properly. Like that is the key to get out all your milk. Then also wash the remaining milk out inside the bowl of water you set aside. So now I'm done doing that, and I'll get a net sieve to sieve her, because um some tiger nuts chaff would have been stuck inside there. So I have to sieve out the last chaff, every chaff. The bowl of water that you set aside earlier, that you washed your tiger nut milk inside, you sieve that so inside the whole bowl of tiger nut milk. Yes, then you squeeze out the last milk in the net sieve and you throw the chaff away. So now I have to clean up because this place is very dirty now. And I like my working environment neat, so you have to clean up. So I've cleaned up now and I'm bottling. So your tiger nut milk is ready. This is how to prepare it. This is a detailed video of everything you have to do to prepare it. So now I'm bottling. I've already washed my bottles before, and this is the results. Your very thick and healthy and delicious tiger nut milk.
There you have it, your delicious homemade tiger nut milk. I really can't wait to see what you guys will be making out of this. The video, you will notice that while I was like, after I grinded the tiger nut and I put it in the bucket, there was an ice block inside. Now when you're blending with your blender, there should be the bucket where you will be pouring the blended mixture. There should be an ice a medium-sized ice block there that will be keeping it at that cold temperature, that will be keeping the blended one at the cold temperature so that fermentation process doesn't begin. And then by the time you're done blending everything that you need to, I'm pouring into the buckets with the ice block, it will still maintain that cold temperature inside, like within the tiger nut milk environment. Now, even when you are squeezing out your tiger nut milk from the cheesecloth on the strainer, inside the bucket there should be ice block too, but let it not be a big ice block. Why? Because so that your tiger nut milk doesn't get watery. Do you understand? But they should be like small, because even from coming from the chaff where the ice block was, it was already, it's already cold. But putting it there is just that before you finish the squeezing process, let it not start catching, getting to a warm temperature. You know, I mentioned that at every point, if you actually want it to last long, if you actually want the tiger nut milk storage to last long, at every point you have to make sure until it is bottled, it doesn't sense any form of warm temperature. It is always on the side of cold temperature. When you do it that way, you get this, the most natural nutty taste of tiger nut milk. That is why when you taste tiger nut milk, you notice that this vendor one tastes different, this one tastes different, this one tastes different. Some of them don't even know these things. The real natural nutty flavor, the real natural nutty tasty flavor is actually gotten when you grind your tiger nut this way without any form of warmth coming to it. Now, when blending with your blender, don't add too much water so it doesn't get watery. You want to keep the tiger nut milk thick and creamy. In that video I grinded, that batch I grinded at the market was because the market was pretty close to where I stay, and the lady I know at the market has a machine and she only used blending tiger nut milk and soybeans, and her machines were neat. Those bigger grinding machines can grind without much water, but with blenders you have to add water so the water will blend properly. So I advise that in order to avoid adding so much water while blending with the blender, blend in small quantities. For example, this blender I showed you, don't let your tiger nut mixture extend this level of the blender, because when you're done blending, the level will still increase, and when you blend a lot at once, you stress the blender and you could damage it. So blend at medium speed at first, then you can move on to maximum speed as soon as it starts getting grinded. So we have come to the end of this course. I really can't wait to see what you guys will make out of this. So if you have any questions, do send me a message on WhatsApp and I'll respond to you right away or as soon as I can. And once again, I would love to see how your tiger nut milk turned out. You could leave a comment on the WhatsApp group you'll be added to, or you can leave a comment under this course. So yeah, that's it. See you around. Bye.